Howdy, howdy. Sue Devil here, and welcome to a supplemental to our infantry cav testing. I tried to get a game online today, just went into the multiplayer. I couldn't get one, so I put together a couple of armies, and I just had a fight against Bretonnia just to demonstrate some of the things that we've been testing with the miners, and some of the discussion that has been going on in the comments. So for the basic Dowie army, I've got two groups of miners and a group of longbeards on each edge, and I do have the Bugman's Rangers as all anti-large, or sorry, all really good against cav, and I have those same at the other edge. Two groups of miners and a group of longbeards with great weapons, and we've got the Bugman's Rangers. Down the center, I do have my leadership with a runesmith, with the Hammer of Karak Draws and Rune of Wrath and Rune, and our Rune Lord on foot with the Master Rune of Wrath and Rune, and they are being bodyguarded by Longbeards with great weapons. We know from our testing they are good at that. In my front line, I've got two Sacrificial Lambs, Dwarf Warriors. I think they make much better sacrificial units than do miners with blasting charges, because they can take shots from bows and stuff like that, and they're fairly robust and they'll last a long time. And past that, I just have 5 units of basic Longbeards for my front line. And what we've got here for the Bretonnians, and this is of course is the AI, so it's not going to work quite right. I just wanted to demonstrate some of the ideas. I just put together what I thought would be a reasonable Bretonnian army. I'm not a Bretonnian expert by any chance, any stretch of the imagination, but obviously I wanted to pick up some of these cav, like questing knights, which are armor piercing, heavy hitters, and I've got two knights errant, which are not armor piercing but are anti-infantry, and I've got the companions of Kinel, these are amazing cav. They are anti-infantry, armor piercing. They have the blessing of the lady for 20% physical resistance, fire resistance, and physical resistance on top of that. Now, this is exactly working how I wanted to. My Dwarf Warriors are taking shots from the Peasant Bowmen, and that's not how it would go in an actual game too. Generally, you're going to get draw some fire. Now, on this side, I have the Bretonnians have the Knights Errant, again, no armor piercing, but anti-infantry, and the Questing Knights, and they also have a Paladin on this side. This Paladin does have the ability to protect the Fey Enchantress with the 18% physical resistance. And for the main center of the line, we've got the Fey Enchantress. Now, the Fey Enchantress has the Favor of the Fey plus 44 melee attack, Arcane Conduit for increased power reserves and recharge, Regrowth, of course, for the healing, Earthblood for the healing, Mist of the Lady, which is a -5 melee attack around her, and some damage to combatants, Life Bloom, which triggers every time she casts a spell with a heal for everybody, and the Blessing of the Lady. And for the basic troops, we've got 2 units of Peasant Mob, 3 Peasant Bowmen with Pox Arrows for the poison, and 4 units of Footsquires, along with the Grail Relic. So, basically, right away, I'm just pushing my army up to start engaging, and I want to get these guys to get shots, and I want to sort of post up out here so I can defend that side and really get my Bugman's Rangers and especially my Thunders shooting over here into these units. And on this side, I want to do the same thing. Again, it's just very, very simple idea. Get my anti-cav units out here just to sort of get ready to engage, and push up with my Thunders and eventually my Bugman's Rangers. I think I got my Bugman's Rangers to come and do a little bit of shooting in here. And then once they're close enough, I'll just push forward with the rest of my units. So we'll get this battle going. And, this is not really complicated. I don't have good micro, but it's quite easy to point and click on units that you have to worry about. And you have so many units. So I've left these miners here just sort of in reserve for now, and we're just pushing out to take some shots. So you see, as soon as I get my Thunders in place, they are going to start taking shots in there. And I've got over here, I've just sent my miners out. Just go. Sent my Longbeards great weapons out and my Longbeards out, and we're going to get our Thunders to sort of pull back and get a new line, and I've got my other miners just here. So it's nice. I just point and click. I'm not looking at these guys now. I just pointed and clicked. I've got these guys on skirmish over on this side. Same idea. Point and click. I am trying to skirmish away. We do have the knights errant. I do see them popping through the line, and I'm going to try and get my runesmith and get the master rune of wrath and rune on there too. So we got their speed down to 39. And there, now their speed is down to 8, but they do hit their charge animation and come in on the thunders, unfortunately. But I'm going to take my leadership group and just pull them back, and my 1 extra unit of miners. Now, the beauty of this is these guys are fire and forget. They are just chasing. Now, I get they're going to run circles around them, but I don't really have to think about them. They're just chasing. I've got the frontline engagement on the go. You know, the Dowie troops are going to last for a very long time in this front line. They're just so good. And, you know, we've pushed off these peasant mob, and there was, oh, there we go. We have this questing knights are kind of got in the cookie jar, but, you know, down here we have Longbeards right down the center fighting the Fey Enchanters. They've gotten some Dwarf Warriors sort of out. But this mess, we keep routing these guys, and I'm just going to keep sending them after. I'll just send these knights after whoever I can get, because I don't care if they chase them all the way off the field. It doesn't really matter to me if I don't see those miners again, right? As long as I get rid of the knights errant and the questing knights. So really, that's the really nice part of this. You just send them after, and right, these guys are going after these guys right now, but and away you go. And we've got, what do we got? The Hammer of Carrick draws on these guys so they don't do so much damage. We do have our Thunders kind of back here, but it's impressive, I think, is there's not a whole lot in the cookie jar. And whatever comes in there, I can sort of bring units back to sort of deal with it. And I've been able to deal with this side of the both sides relatively reasonably. Like if you look from an upper view, you can see this whole inner pocket's not in not too bad a shape. And we pushed out, you know, the cav, and they keep coming back, but I can just keep sending my tattered miners after them. It doesn't really feel hard to do, and you would think a 20 stack with all these units and would be difficult to micro, and it's really not that bad. And I don't have much micro, mind you. I don't have any specialized units. I don't have gyrocopters, but you can see these guys are coming in, trying to thread the needle, and we're just shooting at them and chasing with these miners, and I'll just keep them chasing. These guys are going to come in, try and find someone to shoot, and these guys are now shattered. And we'll post up on these guys. You know, you're going to keep getting them wavering, and you can keep chasing them down. You know, Longbeards with great weapons, Runesmith. We've got these Foot Squires on the way. I've now got my Rune of Wrath and Rune on here, and we're pushing off this Paladin. And you know, these guys are just fighting the Fey Enchantress. And I know this is not perfect because they haven't attacked really wonderfully, and I don't have everyone going. But the Dwarf Warriors did a great job. You know, 10 kills, got in the way. These Longbeards now are starting to chase units off. Longbeards are chasing units off. Miners and Longbeards. I've just got them chasing after the Companions of Canal. That's all they're doing. Like, I've forgotten about them pretty much completely, and I've got these miners chasing off these guys. It is nice to have a lot of fire and forget units. Like, these guys went all the way over here, and now I noticed finally that these guys are shattered, so we're going to bring them all the way back. And now I just got to find a place for these guys, so I'm posting them up. I think I'm going to send these guys after here, after these Knights Errant. And, you know, I just got to keep looking for places to put my units, and I'm coming in after the Fey Enchantress. So there's not a whole lot left to the replay right now. But I do want to take a look at what this looks like after. And yeah, okay, these guys are going to rout. They've done a great job. They've been around for most of the game, which is pretty amazing. I know there's not a lot of focus fire, and again, this is not meant to be an exact demonstration of what you would see on ladder. It's meant to demonstrate the usefulness of these backline testing that we've been doing in a build package against a faction that specifically has very good cavalry, like Bretonnia. So yeah, these knights, these Companions of Canal, I've just been chasing them all game with these guys. I mean, I don't care. Just keep guys on them. It's fine. And we're finally pushing them off the field. So that's it for the battle. And I'll take a look, which is because it's quite interesting to take a look at the end plates. Is the miners did okay, 332, 412. You got to think they were fighting a lot of knights. You know, our regular dwarf warriors, they just went out front to take some kills and fight the peasants, 86 and 17. And our Longbeards were great weapons. Were, for the most part, fighting against Cav the whole time. 71, 31, 54. Awesome. And our leadership pretty much untouched. 14 kills in 16. And what's really noticeable, and I felt this just playing this, is my Thunders were online for a good portion. Now, a player is going to be a lot more aggressive at getting after your Thunder specifically, but I had the resources to defend. I had more units than the Bretonnian army, which, is what it is. Now, you look at what the Bretonnian army did. Really, these Companions of Canal got 104 kills. Very, very good. But the rest of the Cav, okay. 16, 13, 25, 11. We really did tamp them down. And their, anti-infantry armor-piercing foot squires did all right. 74, 47, 30, and 40. And their peasant bowmen, 2, 3, and 11. I never know if peasant bowmen with pox arrows are a good pick in this. They could be useful. I would expect to see them, or maybe mounted yeomen, because I would imagine Bretonnian players would expect slayers. Bretonnia has a lot of cav. They bring a lot of cav. They need a way to manage those slayers, and the peasant bowmen would be, so they could kill them fast and slow them down, would be what I would expect to see, or what I would think they might expect. And in this case, they're just no good targets. No good targets for the peasant bowmen. Everything here has armor with the exception of Bugman's Rangers, and if you hit them, they will heal it back. So it just does not matter. There's not any good targets in the whole Dowie lineup because everyone has armor. And, this actually felt reasonable to play as well. So we look at the package, the backline package, and, I like some of the comments going on in below the videos that the anti-cav videos that I'm putting up, and some people are thinking, hey, do we think of wing packages? Do we think of full backline packages? Do we think of backline packages versus factions? And that's, I think, where we actually get to the best total thinking is, what does this backline package look like for Skaven, for Greenskins, for Bretonnia? I just wanted to demonstrate that I've got and I have one group of miners that have 32 kills in full health. That's really good. I didn't even did I have one unit that totally routed off? I don't know. It's really impressive how these guys performed in the back line. I was just really happy with how they felt. Now, again, not the same as ladder, which is very, very different. And I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying this is sort of a look at what I'm thinking and how the package sort of looks, how it can play. And this is 12,400 gold. This would be I think this would be a very easy standard build. There's no special units in here. There's no regiments of renown. There's nothing really expensive. The most expensive unit here is our Lord at 900. And then, and Runesmith, I think, came in at 800. And we can go look. Let's go take a look at what they came in at. Custom battle. Yeah. So yeah, the Lord at 932, the Runesmith at 832, but everything else is in that kind of, we have a lot of units between 650 and 750. That's usually the stat sweet spot. And then our used to be throwaway units when miners, and they're not, and our new sort of take one for the team Dwarf Warriors. Dwarf Warriors are so good at that. I mean, they have good stats. They can take a charge. They have charge events against large. They have shields. They have armor. Dwarf Warriors, I love them too. They're also one of my. Almost all the dwarves are my favorite units, but I love Dwarf Warriors as well. But you can see build is very simple. A little bit of leftover gold, which does irritate me a little, but it's a nice package against Bretonnia. And, really the whole idea was to demonstrate what these miners can do against cavalry, to demonstrate that it actually is pretty easy to manage them. I mean, I don't know totally because my micro is not good enough. I don't even know what I don't know when it comes to micro. But it felt relatively simple for me, and I haven't played an online match in a dog's age, because I had all summer and everything else like that. I've been trying to catch up with videos, but just wanted to demonstrate that. Look forward to any comments you have down below, and hope you found it interesting, and I will see you soon.